Well, welcome to Cowboy Survival. I know it doesn't look like it. This isn't my normal headgear. This is the old beret that I wore as a leadership corps member of the Boy Scouts of America when I was about 16 to 18 years old. Today what I'm going to do is take a walk down memory lane, show you a lot of vintage Boy Scout gear that I still have, and we're going to talk a lot about the Boy Scouts. I'm going to reminisce a little bit, sort of the things that made Boy Scouts important and a great opportunity for a guy like me. This may be true for many of you. I hope you all will comment on it. If you like this video today, please subscribe to the channel. I'll put another plea a couple ways down the road. And anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun, so just hang on. Let's get into it. Okay, well, let's take a look at some of the stuff I've got here. We're going to start off looking at some uniform stuff, and we'll look at some more uniform stuff later. This hat, obviously, was the first thing you saw me wearing. This was the beret that was worn by Scouts who were in what they call the leadership corps. So typically Boy Scouts would have boys age 11 through 18. So you'd start in Cub Scouts, then during your year 10, when you were 10 years old, you'd be in Webelos, then you'd graduate at age 11 and you'd go into Boy Scouts up through age 18. And typically Scouts would wear a uniform that had khaki green pants, khaki green shirt. You get a short sleeve shirt for summer, long sleeve short for winter. They actually had shorts you would wear. I'll show you. I still got my old sock garters from back then. That's kind of comical. But it was this color khaki. And this hat, though, it's one of these hats that's meant to be worn on your head, and it's over like this. The problem is nobody ever wore them. It was a decoration for your uniform, and you typically take it, you fold it, and you wear it on your belt. Is where your hat would be. That's just part of the way you would wear this with the uniform. So this is the hat that you're in the color. But the leadership corps was generally those kids that were about 14 or older. And I guess the idea was that, these kids start off 11 years old. They start to go in Boy Scouts. And there aren't as many older kids, because as kids get older, they get interested in girls, they get jobs, they get play sports, and they wouldn't be interested in Scouts. And that group was much smaller. The older kids was much smaller. And they needed a way to keep those Scouts and to get them interested. So they created the leadership corps as a way to sort of let those kids hang out with themselves instead of hanging out and always shepherding nothing but 11, 12-year-olds. And their uniform was a little different. You had the red hat. You had a dark green uniform. I actually have my old dark green leadership corps uniform still with me. I'll show you that in a little while. And now the belt you would wear is this belt here. This belt is a web belt, has a brass belt buckle. This buckle is not shined. Used to, we were expected to keep these shined. We expected to have them shined when we showed up for uniform inspection at every troop meeting, which was weekly. Our troop met on Monday nights, other troops met other nights. So that's the belt we would wear. You'd also wear a neckerchief, and that's the neckerchief I would wear right there. And typically what you do with this is you take it, you wear it around your neck, you put it around your shoulder. You would then thread it through a neckerchief slide, like this, and it would slide just through the back, and let's get it right side up. Having your neckerchief slide upside down is a big no-no. And you would wear it like this. That's how you'd wear your neckerchief. You'd want it even on both sides. You want the ends even with each other, and you need to have it rolled up before you put it on. And every troop generally, I think, had their own neckerchief. This was the neckerchief, so you could recognize your own troop very easily. This is kind of a really neat item, I guess, that I still have this. I think nowadays they aren't as big on uniforms. Somebody got it in their head that somehow, well, it wasn't fair to kids that didn't have much money. Their parents couldn't afford the uniforms, and so let's not stick to uniforms. Kids don't have to wear their uniforms when they come to meetings. I think it was a nice thing. It taught you responsibility. It taught you to take pride in how you looked. It taught you that there was a place for everything and everything in its place. And the uniform was supposed to look a certain way. I kind of liked that teaching. It taught kids order and the importance of respecting the organization and respecting the uniform. So I think that was very important. Later on, when I got older, I went to Philmont Scout Ranch, and I bought a belt buckle when I was out there. That's the belt buckle I bought. And I also bought a leather belt. I still got the original leather belt, but it got too small, so several years ago I emailed them and I bought a new one. This one also is, and you see it says on the outside of it, this would be emblazoned across the back of the belt, Philmont, somewhere in New Mexico. This one is a 36-inch belt. It's still an inch or two short. I probably need to get me a 38-inch belt so I can wear this belt buckle from time to time. I still run into a lot of kids at the university who are in Boy Scouts, but as we know, Boy Scouts has changed dramatically. They've gone to now being called Scouting America for a lot of reasons. And I'm not sure that I'm altogether thrilled with the change and the shift that they've done. I had a whistle. I don't know why I had a whistle, but of course they say everybody should have a whistle when they go out in the woods. It has the Boy Scout logo on it. Everything you bought would have the Boy Scout logo on it, right? This is a great whistle, by the way. It is loud. It's made in the USA, and really loud whistle. That's the original lanyard that I had with it. Everything you see here, except for that Philmont belt, is actually original vintage stuff, over 50 years old. My first item I got was my Boy Scout pocket knife. Of course, it has the logo on it too. This is vintage. I showed this in a video a short I did earlier this year. This blade is still sharp as it can be. It's sharp as a razor, works really, really well. The blades are all come out and work fine. The knife itself is in immaculate condition. No cracking, no chipping on the plastic that's on the outside of that. I don't think that's anything other than plastic. I have no idea what kind of steel this is, but you'd wear it on a belt clip. You'd have a little brass belt clip you'd have on your hanging off your belt that you'd wear this. And man, this knife has served me well for many, many, many years. As I got older and got more responsible, my parents bought me this. This also has the Scout logo on the knife. You can see it on the button there. I think maybe you can see it. We just refer to this as a sheath knife, but it says right on it. It says official. I don't know if you can see that or not. Official Boy Scout knife. This is a really nice. Also extremely sharp. This is the original sheath, leather sheath that it came with. It stayed in excellent condition all these years. None of the rivets had popped on it. The snap still works just fine. I could wear this knife today if I needed to. You just put it right on your belt right there. I took this knife on a lot of camping trips, both those knives. And then, of course, I got the official Boy Scout sharpening stone. Has directions on the back, though a lot of those have rubbed off over the years. That stone is still in excellent condition because I probably didn't use it as much as I should. Really nice vintage item there. Also for camping, my other blade I had was my Boy Scout hatchet. You can still see on this hatchet, you can still see that, again, official Boy Scout hatchet. It's got the little logo there on the snap. Leather sheath for the hatchet. This hatchet, you've seen me use this in several videos if you've been watching them. I'll use this when I'm setting up a tent. It still has, you can still see the official Boy Scout logo on this right in here. It's not real clear, but I could probably bring that back up if I clean this. I never noticed it was still on there. That's pretty cool. I could probably clean this up and make that stand out again. But I've sharpened this recently, so it's in good shape and it can chop really well again. So that's another vintage item. It's over 50 years old. I think about when we go to Scouts. You know, the Scouts now, big differences are they're not called Scouting America. They want to be an organization that's open to everybody, regardless of their belief system or whatever. We had troops that had Mormons and had there were Muslim troops and there were Jewish troops. I don't think they were exclusive in any way, but they tend to cater toward those people of those faiths. I know we never discriminated against anybody of other faiths, so I think our troop was actually sponsored by a church that was a Methodist church, the troop I was a member of, even though we didn't attend that church. But being reverent is a really important part of being a Boy Scout. The other thing that Boy Scouts have done, they allowed girls in. Now I have nothing against females and males working together, particularly in the Explorers, which are like 18 and older or 16 and older. At that point, it's young men and young women. They're interacting with each other. It's appropriate to learn how to interact with each other in an environment where you are doing the same kinds of things and where everybody gets to achieve whatever their skill potential is. I think that's perfectly appropriate. I'm an old-fashioned guy, though, and I still believe that there's an appropriate place for boys to be just with boys. And I think that's important to grow. I think it's important in your maturity to learn. First, you have to learn how to get along with each other before you start trying to get along with girls. That can be a tough thing. I think boys who aren't athletic, who aren't naturally well-built, who aren't naturally leaders, need the opportunity to develop and to build self-confidence and self-reliance and to build those skill sets that are going to make them good men in our society. To focus on what makes a citizen strong and vital. I'm not saying that girls aren't good citizens. I think they are. Many of our representatives today are women. I'm just saying that as a young boy in those formative years, I think that it's important for boys to be with boys and to be taught by men, so that they can develop into the kind of good man that we want to see in today's society. So let's get back to some more gear. This is my old Boy Scout canteen. It comes in a canvas little carrier. It's just an aluminum canteen. Still works just fine. Still holds water just fine. Doesn't spring a leak. These canvas things are great. They really aren't heavy, and they dry pretty quick. It's still got the original chain on it, which is kind of nice. You can actually still see the original logo on that. It's faded very much because it is 50 years old, remember? But it's a pretty neat item. Now, to go with that, I've got my original old Boy Scout backpack. This is what they call the Yucca pack. We bought, it didn't come with a frame, we bought an aluminum frame that you could buy to go with it because it adds structure to it. You can put your sleeping bag down here at the bottom. You can tie stuff down there. This is still tied. Look at this. Don't you see? This is still tied to this frame with string, just binding twine. My father did this for me when I was like 11 years old. So I went on my first camping trip, maybe when I was 10. He did it, and it's still holding. It's still just like it was the very first time he put it on in probably about 1970. Okay, that's remarkable. That string is not rotted. It's not broken. It's not brittle. It's still holding up. Boy, I don't know if they make stuff like that today. The pack itself came with its own straps, but then you had straps that come on the frame. I used to have some pads that I put on these to make it easier when I carried. This pack did not have a waist belt. The pack when I went to Philmont did have a waist belt. It was a much better pack. This pack basically had 2 pouches in it. It had a front pouch flap. We used to call it a map pocket. But you could put flat things in here, small things in there, not very much. And then it had basically one big giant compartment that you would put stuff in. And you could fit a lot of stuff in this pack. This pack can hold a boatload of stuff, let me tell you. The pack is still in great condition. No tears in it. No rips in it. No cuts in it. This pack could go out on the trail today. I believe it's in its original form. It's just been kept very, very nice, and I've held on to it all these years. The final thing I want to show you in this batch of stuff is my Boy Scout handbook that I still have. This is the original Boy Scout handbook that I had when I was a kid. It's pretty remarkable, actually. I don't know why I drew all over it the way I did, but this had all the ranks in it, all the information you need in it. Has the information in the front cover. Tells you how to put your stuff on your uniform. It had more stuff in how to put stuff on your sleeves. Sort of gave you a diagram of how to put it. Had a nice index in it. The pages are falling all out of this thing, but it's vintage. This thing is, let's see if it's 7th edition, 5th printing. I don't know if it has a copyright date. 5th printing, January 1969, 55 years. No, 54 years. Oh, is that right? Yeah, 54 years. Maybe close to 54. That's a long time. Whatever it is, it's a long time, right? That's a really neat item. I'm glad I've held on to this. I'll be able to show this to my grandkids someday. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to clear this stuff, and I've got a couple of other things I want to show you. Talk more about Boy Scouts and how formative it was for me. And just remember, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe if you're liking it so far. This is going to be a long one today. But also remember the Scout laws. Remember to live these laws. The Scout laws were formative for me. And I remember them to this day. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. It's part of who I am. And for most of us who were Boy Scouts back then, it's part of who we were. So let's go look at the shadow box that I built for some of my Boy Scout memorabilia.
Okay, this is a shadow box that my father made for me, and I put some of my sort of signature Boy Scout memorabilia in it. And what I'll do is I'll try to zoom in on each of these items a little bit so that you can get a better feel for what these look like. This is my tenderfoot pin. This would have been the first rank I would have earned after joining Scouts. I would have had to learn the Scout oath and the Scout laws, and learn how to make the Scout symbol with the 3 fingers and that type of thing. Well, after that, a couple months later, you move on and you get your second class award. The second class award is a scroll. It says "Be Prepared" on it. It's got a little loop, a little knot down below it. I forget what the knot symbolizes, but it does symbolize something. Then after that, you get your first class award, which is a combination of the first two, tenderfoot and the second class award. The star comes next, and it's got that first class pin over a star that's in the background. You then move on to the Life Award, which is that first class pin but with a big heart over it. Then that's followed by the Eagle pin. So I was an Eagle Scout. Also, as a Scout, I joined the Order of the Arrow. That's my Order of the Arrow pocket flap. This is the sash I would have been awarded when I initially joined the Order of the Arrow. And that sash would have hung over my shoulder. So it's kind of an honor to have one of those. When I got my Eagle Scout, they awarded, in our troop, everybody who got an Eagle Scout got this silk neckerchief with a hand-painted leather eagle on it. So that was always kind of cool. So other things I got when I was in Boy Scouts, I got the that badge right there is my patrol patch. I was in the Cobra Patrol. And that is my Miles Swim Award. And that's the Arrowhead pocket patch that I got by completing my week at Philmont Scout Ranch. So that's some of the awards I have in my shadow box.
Okay, so what I thought I'd do is show you some of the other things I've had. We'd wear lots of patches. Oh, before I get that, remember I told you I still have my old garters that I would wear. So when you were in the summertime, when you wear your shorts, you would wear long knee socks, and to keep them up, you would use these garters. They have these little tassels on them, and the garters, you put them around and snap, and then you fold the sock down over the top of the garter so you wouldn't see this. And it was kind of a neat look. But it's kind of a stupid look. We wouldn't do it today. No kid today would do these, but that's what we did for our official uniforms with the shorts with the garters on the legs. Thought I'd show you that. Also on our uniforms, we wouldn't, those rank pins I showed you, we wouldn't wear those. We would wear patches. We get the rank pin when we got our rank at what we call a court of honor, when people would get their merit badges and their ranks. And then you also get a patch. And we'd usually put the patch, would go in your pocket right here. This, I don't know what's happened to my tenderfoot badge. That was the lowest rank. That was the first rank you got when you went in, was tenderfoot. But then my second class badge is right here. That was on my uniform for many, hopefully not many years, for about a year, maybe about 6 months. And then I went to first class. First class, you're going to stay first class 6 months to a year probably. You know, it's a combination. So the tenderfoot badge was this fleur-de-lis symbol up here at the top. The second class badge is the scroll here that says "Be prepared" with the knot on it. And then the first class badge is a combination of those two. Then you had the star rank, which is like the first class badge but with a star behind it. Then the life rank was this first class badge but with the heart behind it. That's a pretty cool badge. You see it's kind of threadbare because my mother, we have pulled all threads out from where my mother actually had sewed it to my uniform. It's good to have a mom who could do all that, I tell you. And then you get your eagle patch, and that would go on your pocket as well. That was pretty impressive to see somebody with an eagle patch on their pocket. That was pretty neat. This is not the original eagle patch. When I became Eagle in 1974, this is the badge that everybody got. However, actually, I think it was maybe 76 when I got mine. But the patch earlier to this was a little more ornate than this one is. This was sort of, they were switching over to a new sort of the minimalist look to things. And that's what the eagle patch looked like when I got mine. If you're a patrol leader, you would wear this. You'd go over here on your left sleeve over here. You'd have up here, would say what troop you're in. Actually, it'd say what council you're in over here. You have your troop number. Also on that sleeve, if you were in the leadership corps, you'd wear this patch, which would go on this sleeve. Now, you'd wear your usually we wouldn't wear our sashes. The sashes would be worn across the body. This was my merit badge sash, and you would wear this across the body like this in a dress uniform. But if we were just at a weekly meeting, this would hang on your belt sort of like this, and then you let it hang down your side, but people would see all your merit badges. And of course mine, I had, I think just barely enough. Let's see, I had 21. So I ended up with 23 merit badges. We'd have other patches when we'd have camporees. So camporee is when a lot of different troops would come together for a large camping trip. Usually it was all the troops in the district, or perhaps all the troops in the council. That would usually be much bigger. But I was in the Sequoia district. Here's a patch where we went to, let's see if I can find it. We had a camporee in fall of '71, where the Sir Walter District, Tuscarora District, Wakanaka District, and Sequoia District were all together. So that's kind of a cool patch. Usually you didn't put these patches on the uniform, you just collected them, and people would trade them. Here's one, I think this was the very first camporee I went on, the Sequoia District camporee. I don't even remember where some of these were, some of these camps. Then I had one, this is the fall of '74. This was a fall fellowship, it was a camporee, a camping trip that a bunch of us went on. This was the Baden-Powell Skill-O-Ree in fall of '74. I think this was an event they held at the fairgrounds where all the troops came together and demonstrated a lot of skills for the day. There was probably 400 or 500 Boy Scouts there that day and people coming by. It was a really pretty cool day. I don't know if I've got any other badges like that. I've got a lot of others. I've got, let's see, things I'll show you. This was, show you ones that are interesting. This was the spring camporee for the Baden-Powell District, or Baden-Powell Council, I guess. I don't remember which one it was. It was in 1973. So this is another one, Sequoia District, fall camporee. Had American flag. It was kind of neat. This one was another one. This actually may have been my first one. The Occoneechee Council camporee in 1970. I think that was the first one that I had. And then this was one where we actually did a camporee at Fort Bragg, which is not Fort Bragg anymore, of course. They changed the name on it. But that was kind of a fun camporee. We got to see the military do a lot of stuff. I remember this is during the Vietnam War, so we still got to see them. We got to go there and do this and see people jumping out of helicopters, or not jumping out of, but rappelling down out of helicopters. We got to tour a lot of military facilities, got to see a lot of military demonstrations. That was kind of a lot of fun. And there were a lot of Boy Scouts there that week. This was another Occoneechee Council. This is the Spring Ordeal. This is the patch from the when I joined the Order of the Arrow. So a lot of patches, a lot of memorabilia there. That I thought you might be interested to see. We used to collect, when we go to these camporees, we get a patch, and sometimes you get a neckerchief to go with it. So what you do, you package the patch and the neckerchief together. You'd open the pouch just enough to put the patch in there, and then you'd seal it. And so you'd have all these things, and you'd save them up. This is one from, Lord, I don't even know what this one was from. Johnson Historical Museum and Conservation Area. I think this was in the I'm not sure. I think this may have been in the at Philmont. No, it says it's in New Jersey. So anyway, then let's see, there's another. I got this one. I don't even know where I got this one from because I didn't go to this. This is one I just collected from somebody. Here's another one for one I went to. Here's one I got from Philmont. They kind of been interesting. See, every group, every council had different neckerchiefs. Every thing had a different neckerchief that went with it. This is another camping thing. A lot of these were from summer camp that I go to. This was a summer camp. This was from summer camp. So anyway, that's sort of what we do. We get these and we package them up. So that's sort of what we did. And that's my Scout memorabilia. I think it's pretty cool that I still have all this stuff. It's pretty cool that I still have all those memories. That scouting was so important to me. That scouting made such a difference in my life. It was the place where I took all those values that I learned from my family, but put them into practice and actually learned how to articulate new values. The Scout Oath and the Scout Law became very, very important to me. As I told you, I recited the Scout Law earlier, of the 12 Scout Laws. So, and keeping this stuff has been very important to me over the years because this stuff reminds me of who I am and where I came from. Like I said, scouting allowed a little scrawny kid who couldn't play sports, who was picked on a lot in school, to find a home, to find a lot of other guys who would shepherd me and teach me stuff about the outdoors and about camping and hiking and cooking in the woods and building fires and hunting and fishing, all those outdoor things, and to appreciate the beauty of nature that God has provided to us, and to appreciate my responsibility as all of us have a responsibility to take care of nature and take care of the environment. Those things were taught in Boy Scouts, and they were. There's not much that's more fun and enjoyable than taking a walk down memory lane
thinking about all those really important things that made you who you are today. Boy Scouts was something that for me was very formative and very important and taught me a lot of skills. You know, camping today is way different. We didn't have any of the technology that's today. The way we made fires was so primitive compared to the tools we have today to make fires. The equipment that we would camp in and cook with is so much different today than it was back then. It's lighter, it's more efficient, it is more protective. There's just so much about the things that have changed. That's one of the things I love about doing this channel is I'm learning new tools and new technologies that we simply didn't have when I was in Boy Scouts many years ago. And I kind of really like doing this. So I hope this video was as fun for you as it was for me going down a trip down memory lane. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of June. Hopefully we're going to get there, right? So anyway, remember what we always say here. Stay strong, stay prepared, have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon on Cowboy Survivor.